I wanted to do something a little bit different for the Let's Look at Software feature on the channel there. Hello, hi, hola, handle and greeting. We're going to look at something called Infinite Painter, which is a tablet drawing program. It has more brushes and more strokes and more options than I could possibly talk about in just one episode. But I've enjoyed drawing like a couple of faces and things like that, and I just recently started turning on Rotate Canvas for Infinite Painter. I wanted to show you some of the settings that allow things like this because it occurred to me that drawing wedges, like on an orange or slices of an orange, is a really good way to practice drawing. And so what I'll do is I'll just start a brand new thing right now. I'll go new, tap this, I'll discard what's on the page right now, go with blank, use one of the templates which fits the screen that we're looking at right now, and I'll create it. Immediately, Infinite Painter lets me use my fingers and also lets me use the pen. I'm using a Samsung tablet, and I can change some of the settings by going into settings here for Infinite Painter, and I've done a theme which is a little different, I think, than the default, and I've chosen, it looks like the final of these three themes here. So there's the first one, the second one, yes, and the third one, which is what I have, and the scale by default is up at 1, which looks like slightly above 0. So there's Rotate Canvas, which is on or off, and it takes me 2 fingers twisting around to rotate that canvas. When I draw on a piece of paper, I rotate the piece of paper around. I want my tablet sitting on perhaps a stand or my lap, a pillow, or a table. I don't want to rotate the canvas, so that's why I had Rotate Canvas active these days. Now what's interesting is that you can use your finger and double tap to flip the canvas, which a lot of artists recommend do nothing or fit the screen. And so when the canvas fits the screen, it's very interesting because after all of the settings that I've done and all the drawing and flipping, and say, I draw something this size and then I draw something this size, when I double tap, it fits the screen. I can't pinch or spread my fingers or rotate and make it happen the same way. But double tapping is a nice way to do that. And that's double tapping with my finger. If I double tap with the stylus, nothing happens. It just draws 2 dots. Back into settings. The volume keys don't do anything. I've disabled the back, which is here's what I really wanted to show you because it's fun. Remember the oranges that we talked about in the very beginning? Now I want to draw a circle, and it's not very good. So undo is down in the corner here. So if I draw a circle and stop and wait, this Infinite Painter gives me a stencil. Now I'm going to tap it before doing anything else. And it gives me controls: a center control, a scale control, rotational control, because you can see that there's a bit of a stroke to this to this pen, to this brush. And then this is a ratio control: thin ratio, thick ratio, until you get to 1:1, which is a circle. So it won't tell me, so it's hard to copy what it is that I have done. But here's a stamp tool up in the corner. I have clicked the stamp tool. Now I'm going to rotate my stamp and change its ratio. I'm clicking that stamp again. I can rotate that altered ratio, and now if I tap anywhere else or draw anywhere else, I lose access to that stencil, to the assist. I don't know what it would be called in some other program, but it's like an assistant for drawing ellipses and circles. And it also has there. Nice and easy, man. You get access to the 8 points and the center that make this a rectangle or a square, and dragging by the corners maintains whatever opposite corner is anchored. It's kind of fun, and I can't believe I mess that up so often. And it also has the many points to help with a curve. Now if I choose this one where the stylus indicator is going in a circle, suddenly the ones beside it become delete points. So if I think there are too many control points, I can select one that is excessive, drag it to its neighbor, and it will be deleted. And that gives me fewer control points to adjust the curves the way I like. And maybe I still have one too many. And now I have an even better S-curve because it doesn't take 1,000,000 points to make an S-curve. Now this over here will connect the first control point to the last control point, or have it open up. That's awfully useful. Now for our orange experiment, I can see here and here the two ellipses cross each other. Well, that happens to be where I want the poles of my orange to cross. So I want to pretend that this orange has rolled over on its side, and there's a pole, like a north pole and a south pole. So here it is, rolled over on its side, and I might as well scribble in a little bit of a shadow here just to help out. The North Pole and the South Pole, so a lot of people just keep working lines and working lines and working the lines. Well, a line is really simple. And now I tap what I have turned into a line, and Infinite Painter allows me to reposition that stroke. And it keeps scaling that stroke too. So if you're good at doing those thick, thin pressure things and you practice your zebra stripes, this should be kind of a no-brainer. I tap out someplace, and now I have what I need to make an orange slice. Let me go to a new layer and stop messing around here and draw for you an orange slice. And I'm going to use, here's one final thing, by the way. Going to use this very line, but I'm going to do it freehand. So now I can really get in here and start using freehand. There's a button in the top left to hide those controls if you feel they're getting in the way. Now, I'm missing, because I distracted myself. Okay. Interesting that this gave me a partial circle. So it's really an arc. And I had followed the lines, and this did not follow the lines. But it's okay, because sometimes you do want the arc. And when you cross through the, the meridian or whatever of the arc, it bends it out to the other side. So you kind of have to feel your way around some of those tools. This one is pretty neat, but here, hopefully it won't drop for me. While the control points are still active, I can choose a color. And the control points are still active, and the color has changed. Since I have my finger control set, I can also increase the size of the stroke while the control points are still active. That was 3 fingers up on the tablet screen. 3 fingers up and 3 fingers down. Of course, I blew it. No problem, man. All right. Orange, orange, orange. My, that's tiny. Dark orange is what we had. Now light orange on the inside, 3 fingers up. And I can also do that by clicking an icon right here. That one. Okay. There's one final tool. One final tool I'll show you in just a moment for this video. Best, like $9.99 I ever spent on a drawing program. Just crazy how much this has been able to do since the summer when I first got it. That and this. is the outside. Yes, it has a fill tool, by the way, but I didn't want to fill it. I just wanted to doodle and scratch and play. When I click on the paintbrush, it shows me things. I'm using a manga inker. Tapered inker is an awfully similar situation, except its starting point is a sharp edge as opposed to a round edge. So whatever. It's really not a huge difference. Just a little while ago, they started adding all those extra brushes, and it became really, really crazy to have all of those extra brushes. So now, oh, I'm sure I showed you, you can pull the center point there and move that whole situation if you have a circle. So I double tap a layer, once to activate it and another to bring up its properties or something, and hide is obviously one of those. And then I mentioned fill, so I might as well fill something, right, with a shade of gray. So paint comes out of here, this fill, and there we go. All I did was tap it and it filled it. Now I have to tap this icon here to stop filling things. Otherwise, my next touch would fill the entire canvas or whatever similar colors that I touched. So this is a floating orange, but here's the thing. You may notice a couple of wobbly lines, and it's certainly not very appealing with all those wobbly lines. So even though I'm holding the tablet a little funny, this compass right here will give me access to other tools. And one of those tools is the lazy pen tool. And so it follows you, and this gives me a the front of that line is wiggling really hard, but the center is not. And so this is available in a lot of other programs. And it helps steady your lines. And so that is cool, because drawing two arcs connected with an arc is already complicated. Making it smooth is like triple complicated. There we go. And so I wanted to make this video just to show you so quickly how easily you could do something like that. With Infinite Painter, and I got off that line quickly because I wanted it to have a little shake. I didn't want it to be assisted by one of those line templates that would show up with the control point. And then this is the the inside. And I just like it being all shoots of orange and yellow. So that's Infinite Painter and some of its assist tools and the ways that it can help you do things in a better manner, in a nice clean manner. And I've been looking up a lot of videos on the internet for different advice and things that professionals are doing, and different pieces of software and hardware that they use, and it's really fascinating. Of course, if you do this while you talk, you probably blow your luck. There we go. An orange slice and a shadow from Infinite Painter. It is really cool to use these tools. So I do hope that you consider taking a look at this and maybe getting a free version. I'm a little curious why that didn't turn on. Interesting. So maybe with the lazy pen, it won't activate whatsoever. So I will pull that ratio tool out, and there I have it, right there. I can scale that sucker as much as I want. All right, there it is. I hope you get some use out of this, and that you share any experiments or experiences that you have with new software. Looking at new software is a pleasure. So subscribe, encourage. I try to answer all comments, and your thumbs ups and likes are things I really appreciate. Thanks for watching.